Welcome to the Full Inbox. My name is Peyton Fox, your email marketing best friend, here to guide you through every subject line and CTA along the way. And today's episode is coming from a comment I got on our last episode of a specific request about, refining those skills. If you're not a designer, how do you break into building and designing e-commerce emails, like next level e-commerce emails? This is going to be a fun one, so tune in. Let's get right into it. The question is, hi Peyton, could you create an episode discussing how non-design majors can develop their design skills related to email marketing or web design? So I thought this actually could be a fun episode to talk about how I got into email marketing, because it's really not something people go and seek out, right? Like, how do you break into the email marketing space? Technically, my major in college is business marketing. But let me tell you, did that degree prepare me for any level of design work, email marketing, e-commerce strategy? No. Quite the opposite. I mean, we kind of learned about supply chain management and things and accounting, which is helpful, sure, but really did not prepare me for working in the e-commerce space, specifically in email marketing. So how did I start to develop those skills? Well, let me tell you, it kind of just starts from doing. And I know that is such a cliche to recommend. Like, how do you start designing emails like the big brands? And you just have to jump into it and start doing it. And what I mean by that is you don't need to wait for a client or a job opportunity. You can start designing emails right now. So a hack that I had when I first got started was I would create a collection. So like I had my inbox, I subscribed to all of these different e-commerce brands. And if an email hit my inbox that I was like, how did they build that? How did they make that? Like, that is what I'm looking to create. I'm looking to get my skills on that level. Save that email, put it in a Google Drive, and start to build this collection of e-commerce email inspiration that you can go back and refer to. And then once you have this collection growing, you can start to kind of put together the pieces. Like, why is this email style, this template, why is it so maybe common or effective? Or I see this brand doing this all the time. Why? And you can kind of start to put the pieces together where that strategy comes in. Maybe they're getting higher clicks, better engagement, but you start to kind of read between the lines on what is an effective email and what isn't before you can start testing it with an actual client. Now, when it comes to email design, you're probably not surprised to hear this if you follow me on my YouTube channel or anything that I release, but I am a Figma person. And when I first got started, I wasn't like when my first jobs was in-house for a company doing their email marketing design, and I worked in Photoshop. Photoshop was my go-to. I loved building in Photoshop. That was my go-to workspace, is working in Photoshop. And honestly, you could still design your emails in Photoshop if that's your preferred platform. But I worked on a project with a e-commerce brand when I first started freelancing, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, this old agency built the emails in Figma." And I was like, "Figma? That's for web design. Like, they built it in Figma? Like, what's the hubbub here? I'm curious, right?" So I was like, "Hey, I'll pick up where they left off." And I had my design work in Photoshop, and it kind of easily starts to translate into what you design in Figma. So my go-to preference is using Figma. I think with Figma, you have so much customization that you can do. You can keep all of your design examples in one place. Like, it just keeps your work method really organized. That's how I feel. So when you're first getting started and you have, like I said, that treasure trove of email templates, pull all of those into your Figma board. And then in Figma, start to recreate these templates. Say like, okay, they put this piece here and that piece there. I'm going to create my version of it and go through the steps. Because then you start to really see, once I hold down Shift and Control, I can manipulate it this way to get the same look. You really start to like stretch your brain and start to get those tangible skills that you can use over and over again when you really start jumping in and creating emails. And then once you have these skills starting to develop, this was my favorite thing to do when I first got started. I would go find my favorite brand, and then I would say, I'm going to make an email for them. I'm going to pretend that I work for them because I want to get something in my portfolio. I want to build my skills. So I take that brand, I be on their website, I'm grabbing all of their brand colors, I'm grabbing the brand font, I'm grabbing some photos from their website, pulling that into my Figma board. And then those templates that I was experimenting with, I'm going to plug and play that into those templates and see how I can maybe make the email pop even more or work even better. So now I'm using an actual brand and plugging it into those templates that I'm building. That is honestly my top recommendation for people just getting started in this is just build. Just keep building examples, building for brands, just whatever you can do to move the needle. When I first got started on Upwork, the very first freelance job I had on there was they wanted me to build sample emails for them for free. And I did. Do I recommend this? When you're first getting started, honestly, I'd say do whatever it takes to land that first job. That was my mindset. And then it just kind of scales from there. So I was like, look, guys, I'll build you 3 email examples to show you what I can do. Then they gave me feedback and I did edits. So when I first started to really start working one-on-one with brands, I was building whatever they wanted just so I can start working with them. And then that way I can build up my skills even more. So if you're in that space of just getting started in your freelance career with email marketing and email design, I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes it's trying to land that first job. It can be really hard to say like, I'm this expert at this, but building those skills and getting started, you have to start somewhere. I would highly recommend, if you haven't seen my other tutorials, I have lots of Figma live streams that I did, or even just me dissecting a top e-commerce brand and taking their template and then building my own version of it just to show you the steps. Like, that's exactly what I'm talking about here. So watch those videos and follow along with me. I like to call out all the shortcuts I do so you're able to see like how is she building these so fast. Over time, those shortcuts, you're just like, you get that thing all pulled together pretty quick. So I'd recommend check out my YouTube tutorials. There's really not too many other content creators that I found that really specialize in showcasing how to design emails. But I'm always keeping an eye out to give them a shout out and a recommendation. So keep your eyes peeled on YouTube because I'm sure more and more of those will pop up over time. Also, if you don't want to work in Figma, you could definitely work in something like Canva. That's easy to jump into. It's harder for me to build my full email inside of Canva because I like that customization of like pulling my image off to the side and keeping it on the sideline until I'm ready for it so I can move things around. In Canva, it's a bit harder to do that fully. Another option is if you are just getting started in email design and it's hard to do the graphic design part of it, you could use something like Beefree, Beefree. Beefree is like my go-to HTML builder. So you can use the building blocks like you normally would in Klaviyo and ActiveCampaign, but you're doing it in a third-party app. So that way, when you build out this email design, you can actually export it as an example for your portfolio, which is great. So it's not hosted in an email marketing platform. We're kind of locked away on a client profile. Also, you have the HTML that you can export and then plug into clients' accounts later on. What's great with Beefree, I've done this before, where I'll have like set templates that I work with when I'm building out HTML emails, and then just plug and play clients' branding where it fits, make a few adjustments. But it works so easily to use a drag and drop builder. There's really not a big graphic design hurdle that you have to get over to. One thing I did want to call out that could be a huge resource to you is that I just launched the idea inbox, which I'm super excited about. So I've had so many compliments in the past about my free templates that I would send out. So I used to send out templates once a month. Hey guys, here you go. Built this one, go at it. It had it in Figma and Canva. So that way people could start to have these templates they could work with in their brand. Well, the subscription is kind of that like turned up to 10. So the Idea Inbox is a subscription where you get 3 customizable email templates for e-commerce brands in Figma and Canva versions. So if you're in this boat of just getting started and you're like, I need a jumping off point, like this is perfect for you because you can start to build a treasure trove of templates that I've already built. I've tested with different e-commerce brands. I know that they're effective and they can work really well. You can take those and use those yourself for your own clients, for your own brand. Also, it includes a content calendar so you can like plan for the next month. So you can see my recommendations, here's some emails, here's some holidays you can plan around, and it has a content calendar that can help you put the pieces together, as well as a swipe drive that I update monthly. So I take email examples from top brands, plug them in, and you're able to reference those to get a feel for what the trends are, what's happening out there, or maybe one really inspires you and you're like, I want to create a template just like that. It's perfect for that. And it's super affordable, $14 a month, and you can cancel anytime. So if you're looking for an easy way to jump in, have some templates, start experimenting, build your skills, the Idea Inbox is going to be perfect for you. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Just a little bit of insight on how to maybe refine those skills, build it up so that you can be an email marketing design master. If there is a topic that you'd like me to cover in the next podcast, feel free to drop it in my comments. But until next time, guys, I will see you in the inbox.